In the late Han Dynasty, the people were starving and they were facing some dangerous situations. Their life were threatened. So they started a rebellion against this government of Han Dynasty. And after starting that rebellion, they started killing the people living in the cities and in the government, and they had burned down some of the government buildings. And after those things were all done, so the government really had paid a lot of attention to this rebellion called the Yellow Turban Rebellion. So after that, so the government needed some soldiers from the commoners. So he just sent some people to give out the orders to each of the states of this country, so that all parts of the nation of this empire would just have some soldiers from this people, so that they would have a military, and then they can oppress that Yellow Turban Rebellion. So there was a state called Zhuojun, and in there was someone called Liu Bei, and Liu Bei had seen that kind of sign on that in front of this gate of Zhuojun, and he found out that the government really needed some soldiers. So after knowing this, he decided to start a business of his own, because then he would not have to attend the military that is held by the government, because that would be not have any. That would make him unable to maybe develop his own strength. So he wanted his own strength, and but there was no one. There were no one with him, and he was already 28 years old, and he had done nothing, achieved no success at that time yet. So after thinking about this, he started sighing. He sighed, and after sighing, there was someone passing by, and this person had a mustache and he had a beard, not very long, but it was very wide, and he also looked really black. So from those two features, we can see that this guy had a very unique appearance, and which differentiates him from the rest of the people. And he came to Liu Bei and thought that Liu Bei was not a hero and had no ambition. So he was not willing to contribute to the government, but he was sighing in front of the gate, and so he could not be considered a man at that time. So if you do not want to make contributions to this country, you are not a man, and you're not a hero. So he went to Liu Bei and said that, why are you sighing and you're not making any contribution to this country? So Liu Bei said, hey, let me talk to you about this later. And after that, they went to a tavern. And after getting into that tavern, they sat down and they started talking about whether they should go to this military, whether they should become the soldiers, or they would like to maybe start a business there by themselves. And just during their conversation, someone else came in, and he shouted out loud to this person in charge of this tavern, this manager of this tavern. He shouted out, you just give me some beer to drink, and then I would just go to this military, I would attend this military. So this guy just did according to his order, and then he sat down. So Liu Bei just called him, because he also looked really different from the rest of the people, and he had a very long beard, and that beard could really reach his waist, and also, and he had a very red face. So after seeing him, they sat down, and he called him there. So he was willing to sit down with them and talk to them about their own experiences and share those with each other. And Guan Yu said to Liu Bei that he was once in someone Guan Yu. This guy is called Guan Yu, and he was from Shanxi. He was born in Shanxi, in China, and that was also a province at that time. It was just modern day Shanxi. And then in there, there was someone really oppressed. Those people were oppressed by the people in power, and one of those people, yeah, in power, was killed because Guan Yu thought he had done some bad things, treated those people badly, so he killed him. And after killing this guy, he had nowhere to go and he could not stay there anymore because that would be dangerous and that would threaten his life if he just stays there and does not go anywhere. Maybe after being caught by the government, he would not be able to protect himself from the danger. So he went away and he just went there. And just after getting there, he found that the government needed a lot of soldiers. And after knowing this, he just had that idea of getting in this government, and he wanted to contribute to this government too. And Liu Bei and Zhang Fei had different opinions. Zhang Fei thought it's good because you're a man and you are in this country, you should serve for this country. But Liu Bei said, hey, he sighed again. And Zhang Fei asked him, why did you sigh? You think we, from this country, we should not do good to this country? We should not serve for this country? Why? And Liu Bei said, right now, it's really chaotic right now. So since it is chaotic, we should probably do something like more special and that we should have our own strength. So if we only get in this military, then we would be oppressed by our military leader. So we do not want to face the oppression. We want to have a military that we can control. And we want to start a business. So Liu Bei said, that is my ambition because I want to serve for this country not in that normal or ordinary way. I want to be extraordinary. I want to start a business and I want to save this country and I want to recover the Han Dynasty from the condition right now, and that it should be really saved, and the people should all be saved. Everyone in this country should be saved, and that the Han Dynasty was actually in a very low state. It was falling right now, so we want it to rise back to its heyday, to the time that it was when it was the most flourished. We all want that. So just by getting in this military to become a soldier, we cannot achieve this goal. And they really understood Liu Bei, and they thought that Liu Bei was ambitious, so that we should learn from him probably as well. And so they really thought that Liu Bei was a hero. And after that, Liu Bei just told him about his identity. He was the offspring of the Han Emperor. So it was one of the Han Emperors. It was 18 generations above him. So that person was, that ancestor of his was the Han Emperor. But that Emperor's son just really, Emperor's son just did some crime, did something bad, and then he was exiled from this palace. He was put into somewhere else in Zhuojun. And then, so his offsprings just stayed in Zhuojun, including Liu Bei. So Liu Bei was already the 18th generation, the offspring. And so Liu Bei, he had no property at that time, and he was just a commoner. He just survived by making some shoes out of straws. So, and then after hearing this, knowing that Liu Bei was the offspring of the Han Emperor, they really wanted to work for Liu Bei. So after that, they decided to work for Liu Bei, and they became the brothers. And they called each other brothers. So by calling each other brother, we mean that they had a really close relationship. And their relationship was just nearly as close as with those between those brothers, real brothers. And after that, they started to develop their own military strength, and they gradually, yeah, achieved that goal. So whether they could achieve that goal, and so if you want to know whether they achieved their success of uh, oppressing or suppressing that Yellow Turban Rebellion and had done anything great to this country, whether you want to know that, we would be discussing that later.